Hello everyone and welcome to the session. So basically we are conducting basic SQL to the advanced level with practical session. So this is a day number 9 and in this session we will learn the advanced SQL with a real time scenario. So basically in this session we will go through for the trigger, then cursor and error handling in a SQL. So most often you are working professional or if you are the fresher, so or if you are going for the any kind of the interview, then this might be this question asks what is the trigger, what is the cursor, then how we can handle the error in a SQL. Okay, so basically this question might be asked you by the interviewer, and how we can answer that question. If you are the know about this concept, then you will easily answer that question. Okay, so in this session, we will take the theoretical part as well as we will take the real time example for the understanding this concept. Okay, so without further delay, let's start the session. Okay, so basically in this session, we will first of all going for the introduction to trigger, then introduction to cursor, then how we can handling the error using the try catch block. Okay, then we will go by the practical session, we will go by the theoretical practical session. Okay, and after that we will take the one real time example. Okay, so or problem statement. Okay, so basically first of all we will go by the theory part. So basically, so there is a two table, one is the student table and second is the department table. Okay, so I will also open the table as well. Okay, so this is two table, and based on these two table, we will understand what is the trigger and what is the cursor. Okay, and how we can error handle in a SQL Server. Okay, so basically we will go one by one, and after that we will take the one real time example. Okay, so basically, first of all, we start with the trigger. So what is the trigger? So you might all of you know that trigger many time. You will get to know that what is the trigger and how we can, what is the use of trigger in SQL. Okay, so basically for the definition of the trigger is a trigger is a special type of the store procedure that automatically executed when an event occur in a database. Okay, event like such as the insert, update and delete. Okay, this event will occur, then this trigger will automatically executed. Okay, so this is a simple definition of the trigger. So basically you just understand that if any kind of the event occur, then this the operation is this type of the execution will be happen in a trigger. So this is a simple thing. So in a SQL Server, basically trigger used for the enforcing the business rule like a logging, validating the data change without the modifying the application code. So basically, if suppose a real-time example, for example, if you have the any kind of the user table. Okay, so in that basically you are inserting the new user detail. Okay, so whenever we delete the username, or if suppose that user will be left from the organization, we will delete all the data. But so if suppose that data will be dependent inserted into the multiple table, so instead of the deleting the data from the multiple table, we will create a trigger. Okay, so whenever we delete the data from the main table, automatically data will be deleted from the parent child table. Okay, so this is a simple thing. Same like that deleting, same like that inserting. Whenever the new employee will join in a particular organization, so that entry will be inserted into the main table like user table. Then whenever the data will inserted, automatically the like different table like the login table or employee benefit table or different table, that data will be automatically inserted into that table as well. So this is the table, this is the trigger, the basically simple the things that we will use for the trigger. Okay, so basically the trigger having the two type, after and inserted. Okay, so basically this is the two type that I already explained you, after and instead of. Okay, so we'll take after trigger. Okay, so if any kind of the error will if any kind of the event occur, then basically this trigger will be executed. Okay, so this is the type of the one type of the trigger. So definition say that, and after trigger run after after the triggering the SQL statement. Okay, so for example insert, update, delete, that completeness successfully. Okay, so we'll take the syntax for this after trigger. So basically, whenever we create a trigger, so that time we will write the syntax like create, then trigger, then after the trigger name. So basically, this is a simple syntax for the trigger After that on, then this is a table name. Suppose any kind of table that you want to apply the trigger, then you can specify the table name here. Okay, then there is a different option is there. So after insert, okay, after this is a basically after, instead of the after you can use a this one instead. Okay, so basically after, then you can use the this type of the command like insert, update or delete, any of the command you can specify. Okay, then after that as, and this is the body of the trigger. So basically in between that you can write a expression, like for example whatever you want, like inserting the data for the any kind of the table, so like that, so based on the business requirement. Okay, so this is the syntax then use. So basically I have already explained you audit log, validation or notification. Okay, so this purpose we will use the this trigger. So notification, like for example if any kind of new employee join in a particular any kind of the team, so other team member will be get notified that ki this employee or this new member will be joining in our team. So basically this is simple, the example of the trigger. Okay, so instead of trigger, so basically definition say that, and instead of the trigger execute in a place of the action. Okay, so like the insert, update and delete, giving you control over the actually happen. Okay, so basically this trigger basically the whenever we can execute the any kind of in place of the action. Okay, so that I will explain you the, with example in a later. Okay, so syntax is that the same thing like previously we check that create trigger, then trigger name on, then table name. After that we will use the instead. So basically previously we use the previously we use the after, so instead of the after we will use the instead. Okay, instead of, so instead of, then we will use the insert, update, delete, or any of the one of the command. Okay, then as, after that begin and then end. Okay, and in between that you can customize the logic instead of the original operation. Okay, so in between that you can use the this operation. Okay, so use case, so basically conditional data operation like complex validation before the allowing the insert, update, delete. Okay, so basically whenever before the inserting the data, if any kind of the validation you use, then this trigger will be used. Okay, then error handling in a SQL. So we will take the example of the trigger in a the practical session, but before that we will go by the error handling using the try catch block. Okay, okay, so basically error handling in a try catch block. So basically any many interviewer ask you, or if you are the working on any kind of the project, and in that project if you are the use for the error handling method, or any kind of the error will be occur in your code, then how you can handle that error. Okay, so basically we will take the example, but before that we will check the definition. So the what the definition say that, so we will handle the error using the try catch block. Okay, so try catch allow you to handle the error gratefully in a T-SQL, similar to the error handling in a programming language. So if you are the working on the any kind of the other technology, like there is a different approach for the error handling, but in a T-SQL we will use the try catch block for the error handling. Okay, so syntax for the try catch block. So basically the SQL syntax for the begin try. So before the uh, uh, we can whenever we create whenever we write any expression or any kind of SQL syntax, we will start with the begin try. After that this is the place where we will add the code. Okay, so if suppose that code might be again given any kind of the error, then we will use the begin try, after that end try, and between that the SQL code. Okay, after that we will use the begin catch, and then catch the basically code for the error handle. Okay, so if suppose any kind of the error will occur in my try block, so this will be block, it will be handle the error. Or you can display like the select error message on the error as the error message, or you can insert into the basically another any kind of the table, or you have already created any kind of the log, so you can insert the that error into the database system for the understanding in a further requirement. Okay, after that you can end the catch. Okay, so this is the basically the basic definition of the try catch block. Okay, so we will check the practically as well, so in a practical session. Okay, So first of all, we will go by the practically session. So we will first of all check the trigger. Okay, so after the delete trigger, okay, so we will take this example, and we will check the problem statement as well. Okay, so basically the problem statement is that log deleted. Okay, so that I previously explained you, log deleted employee record into the audit log table whenever the someone delete and the employee from the employee detail table. Okay, employee table. Okay, so simple statement I will explain you. So for example, in a XYZ organization, suppose any kind of the employee will be leave from that organization. Okay, so that time we will have the different table, like main table is the employee table detail. Okay, so whenever the employee will leave from that organization, so automatically related data will be deleted from the another table. Okay, so this is a simple the problem statement. Or any kind of the interviewer ask you like this question: if suppose employee left, and how we can handle, how we can delete the automatically data from the other dependent table. Okay, so first of all, for that we will go by the SQL server. So I will open my SSMS. Okay, so this is my SSMS, and here we have used the database like learn SQL. So I will take the new query. Okay, so I have already created the code. I will just explain you this code in the session. Okay, so basically if you check the, so first of all we will create a table. So basically first of all we will create a employee table. So for the creating the employee table, I will copy the this code. Okay, so then I will come to my SSMS, and here is the T9. Okay, I will save my query. Okay, so first of all we will check the, we will take the problem statement for the after delete the trigger. Okay, so this is my problem statement that I explain you. So first thing is that after delete trigger, then problem statement that I will copy. Okay, so basically first of all we will create a one table, so employee table. Okay, so in this table basically create table employee, then in this table employee ID, employee name, department, and salary. So this is a four columns. Okay, so I will create one employee table, employee table employee. Okay, so this is my table, so I will execute the table. I will execute the query. So now my table was created, so select start from. So this is my table, so I will select the data from this table. As of now there is no data. So now what we will do, so we will insert the data in this table. Okay, so for the insert the data, so I have already created a script, so you can just copy this script, or if you want you can create a insert the data. Okay, so first of all for that I will change the name. So now I have inserted the data in this table. Okay, this table now, what I will do, so I will select the data from this table. Okay, so now the three records inserted like John, Ravi, and Nita. Okay, so the department like the IT, HR, and finance, and salary. Okay, so this is a data now. So basically audit log table, so we will create a audit log table as well. Okay, so basically audit log table will be inserted the detail of the log. Okay, so that I will explain you. So basically then third step we will create a audit log table. Okay, So create table audit log. So in audit log id, it is the identity, means it will be incremented by one, and it is the primary key. Then employee id. So basically whatever the data in this table, so we will use the same column for this table. Okay, employee id, employee name, action perform, and deleted record. Okay, so and this is the deleted record. This is the default time is the get date, means whenever the data will be inserted into in this table, so that current time will be inserted in a date and time, dated time. Okay, deleted time, this column. So now I will execute this table. So now we have successfully created this table. So I will select the data from this table. Okay, select star from this table. Okay, audit log table. Okay, now as of now no data in this table. Okay, now what we'll do, so after that we will use the after delete trigger. Okay, so basically this is the code that basically first of all we will create the trigger on the employee table. Okay, so for that I will just copy this code and I will explain you this code. Okay, so now I will copy this code. So basically for the problem statement we have created the trigger, and this trigger help you for the taking the log from the employee table. Okay, so basically first of all whenever we create a trigger, so the definition, as per the definition or syntax, will write a create then trigger. So this is the keyword that we need to use for the creating the table, creating the trigger. Then trg after delete employee. Okay, so this is my trigger name. So whenever we delete the data from the employee table, then this trigger will be insert the data into the audit log table. Okay, so basically for that we have created the trigger. Okay, so we will check the practically as well on the employee table. So as of now we have the change the name as a tbl employee. So now I will also change the table employee. Okay, then this is the operation that we perform after and delete. Okay, so after means basically whenever we delete the data, then after that, okay, so this is the method will be called. Okay, as then this is the body of the trigger, like begin and end. In between that, what we'll do after the delete, we'll insert the data into the audit log. So when for that, what is the column, like employee id, employee name, and action perform, like action perform like deleted. So how we can identify? So basically we have the added the trigger for the after the delete, and whenever the data will be deleted, then it will be automatically action perform like we have hard coded value like the deleted. Okay, from the deleted. Okay, so this is the table, and basically we have the created the trigger on the this table. Okay, so from the deleted, this is the one type the table. Okay, so now what we will do, so I will create this trigger. Okay, so now my trigger will created. So how we can check the trigger was created? So first of all we will go to the my SQL server. So here I will refresh. Then I will go to the database, then go to the learn SQL. This is my database, learn SQL. Under that you can check the programmability, and under that you can check the view table programmability function, the table. You can go to the table. Okay, so in that table you can check the table employee. In a table employee you can check the, this is the different option like columns, keys, constraint, and there is a trigger option. Okay, so we have the added the trigger on the table employee. Okay, so this is my table that we have added the trigger. So the trigger name, as you can check, trg after delete underscore employee. Okay, so this is my trigger. So whenever we create a trigger, so this will be reflected in a database system. Okay, okay as well. So the now we have the created the trigger successfully. Then now the time is for the check the data. Okay, So for the test the trigger, how we can test the trigger? So basically for the testing the trigger, so what I will do, so I will delete the data from the employee table like employee id 2, and then we will check the audit log. Okay, so this is my table, so this is my tbl employee, and I will delete the data for the employee id 2. Then if suppose I have the deleted the data from the this employee table for the employee id 2, then automatically data will be inserted into the audit log. So this is the purpose of the trigger. So simple, like that, we are maintaining the log. Okay, so if suppose we have the huge number of table in a real time system, then this is the one benefit for the trigger. Whenever we add the any kind of the add trigger, then action will be performed by the trigger. Okay, so now I will delete the data from the this table. Then one row affected, one row affected, that means ki there is a two row affected, one row for the deleting the data from the this employee table, and second row for the audit log. So as of now, previously we have checked there is no data in the audit log, but now whenever we perform the this trigger of option, then the data will be inserted into the this audit log, and if you check, the data will be deleted from the main table as well. Select star from this tbl employee. So data also deleted, like employee id 2 data will be deleted from the main table. So this is a simple the way that we can use for the trigger. I hope you all of you understood by the trigger. And this trigger also we can use for the inserting. Now we have just inserted the data. Okay, so whenever, if suppose we have the any kind of the new employee will be added in my this employee table. Let's say suppose that for example, this is my the main table, like master table. Okay, so whenever we add the new data in this table, okay, now we perform the insert of, we will perform the delete operation. Okay, but now whenever the we have the added the new employee data in my master table, then a particular parents table, like for example, like that we have inserted the audit log, but whenever we insert the new employee table, then that time parent table or a child table will be also we can insert the data for that particular employee. Or whenever the employee will leave from the organization, that time we will delete the data. Whenever we perform the delete operation, the same like that, we here instead of the insert, we will write a delete operation for the deleting the data from the parents table. Okay, so for the for example, employee table, this is a master table, and there is a child table, like the employee detail, employee additional detail, like employee the address and mobile number or like that. So we will delete the data from that table as well. Okay, so that time we can also create a trigger. Okay, so the now the next for the we will take the practically example for the try catch block. Okay, so for that I will also open the my new query, and here I will write a example 2 for the try catch block. Okay, and now we will take the problem statement. So basically the try catch block, when we will use a try catch block, so whenever in my particular any kind of the code I will get any kind of the error, so I will handle that error. Okay, so basically we will also learn how we can handle the error in a SQL server. Okay, so for that, so problem statement is that handle the runtime error like divided by 0 or the invalid input during the salary calculation. So for that also we will take one by one, we will create a table, and we will check the how we can add the try catch block for the error handling in a SQL server. Okay, so for that also I have already created the script. I will directly uh, open that script. Okay, so before that, one sample query for the error handling. So I will just show you how we can handle the error in a SQL server. Okay, so basically this is the code that we will use for the error handling. So I will just copy this code and I will explain you. Okay, So basically in this code, the error handling will be declared. So basically declare salary. So this is my salary, the variable. It will be integer, and this is the 15,000 is the value for this salary. Then declare the bonus. It is an integer, and it will be I have declare as a 0. Then declare like a result is a float type. Okay, so whenever we will perform the operation like salary bonus, then the result operation will be performed in a result variable. Okay, so then I will use the begin try. In the begin try, I will use the set result equal to salary divided by the bonus. Okay, so I that result will store in a result this variable. Okay, and then print bonus amount, like we will cast the value like varchar. Okay, result into the one means varchar data type. Okay, then we will use the end the try. Okay, so if you check, so this is my code. So this code I have written in a begin try and end try. So whenever the my code, it will be come under into the begin try, end try. Okay, and we will catch the error in a catch block. Okay, begin catch, and in between that the statement, and after that end catch. Or instead of that, you can also the if you have the created one the log table, you can also add the data into the log table as well. Okay, now if I perform the if I execute this query, so basically if you check, so this is a 0, and this will be divided to the 15,000. 0 divided by 0 division, it will be error in this operation. Okay, because of 0 can't divided by the 15,000. Okay, so basically if I execute this query, then I will get the error like error occur divided by 0 encounter. Okay, so why this will error will occur? Because of we have the added this log. Okay, so basically 0 divided by this is the error. Okay, so how we can handle this error? Okay, so basically if suppose any kind of the error in your execution, then how we can handle that error using the try catch block. Okay, so that I will explain you in a problem statement. Okay, on the show procedure, and I will show you how we can handle the error. Okay, so I will just copy this code in a new window, and then I will copy the code for the creating the store procedure. Okay, so this is my store procedure, simple store procedure. So this store procedure basically calculate the bonus. Okay, so basically whenever I will execute the store procedure, then it will be give me the bonus calculated per person. Okay, so basically we will pass the input parameter like salary and bonus. Okay, so this is my input parameter for the store procedure. Then as after that, this is my code. Okay, so this is my store procedure code. In that I have created, I will declare one the variable like amount. This is the float type, and in between that this is my code. So in this code I have written in a try catch block. So whenever any kind of the code that might be give the error, so we can add the that code into the try catch block. Okay, we can capture the code in a try block, and we will we will capture the code in a try block, and we can print the code that basically error in a catch block. Okay, so basically we will print the basically error for the this any kind of the error whenever any kind of the error will occur. Okay, so this is my catch block. Okay, and after that we will end the this row procedure. Okay, so now I will execute the this row procedure. Okay, now okay, so now what I will do, so I will execute the store procedure. Okay, so I will, what I will do, I will execute the store procedure. So for this, for the execution of the store procedure, so we will use the exec. Then this is my store procedure name. Then this is my salary equal to 40,000 and bonus equal to 0. So if I execute this store procedure, then I will return the error handle error divided by 0 encounter. Okay, so because of we have the added the catch block. In a catch block, if suppose I will alter the show procedure. So first of all, I will alter the procedure error from the SP. Okay, so this is the message. Now I will alter the store procedure. Okay, and now I have altered the store procedure. Then I will execute the this procedure. Okay, if I execute, then you can check the error from the SP. So this is the store procedure name, and this is the error divided by 0 error will be encounter. Okay, so now this error will occur because of we are divided by the value 0. Okay, so because of that, this error will occur. If suppose I will change the parameter, like, so I will use, instead of the 0, I will use the 40, and then I will execute the statement. Then you can check bonus per person 1000. Okay, so this is my output. So that output will be in a print statement, like bonus per person, it will be casted value like amount as a varchar. Okay, so this is the thing that we have done in a store procedure. We can handle the error in a multiple way. So basically we will use the try catch block for the handling the error. The in a try block, basically the error statement or error code we will capture, and catch block we will print the error. Okay, so this is a simple thing for the try catch block. I hope you will understood the try catch block. Okay, then next one is a cursor. So basically many of the you will understood that cursor. So basically cursor, when we will use the cursor, what is the basically use of the cursor, that we will check in the session. Okay, so basically cursor in a SQL server, a cursor is a database object that will be useful for the retrieve, manipulate or navigate the row by row result from the result set. So whatever the result set, in that result set we will navigate the retrieve the data like row by row. So this is the difference between the cursor. Okay, because of cursor will be perform the operation by row. Okay, so one row, after the second row, after that third row. Okay, so for example, if you perform the operation like update statement. Okay, so if suppose for example update student set the marks equal to 100. Okay, then this operation will be, if suppose we will execute this query, this whole the operation will be executed one. But if suppose we will use the cursor, then if suppose in that table the 10 row, so the in the update statement directly 10 row will be updated at a one time. But whenever we use the cursor will be go by the one by one. Like first of all it will go by the row 1, then row 2, row 3, like that up to 10 row. So basically this is the cursor. So definition of the cursor, basically cursor basically allow for the row by row processing, which is useful whenever each row must be handled individually. Okay, so this is a basically use for the cursor. Okay, so in a business requirement, or if you're the working on the complex the logic where you need to go row by row for the updating or inserting any kind of operation, then you can use a cursor. Okay, so what is the definition? Say a cursor is a database object used for the retrieve or process the individual row written by the query. It allow the row by row processing of the result set. So this is the definition of the cursor. Okay, then going for the syntax, how we can write a syntax for the cursor. So for the declare the cursor, like declare the cursor, like declare cursor name, then cursor for then we can use the select statement, the column 1, column 2 from the table name, and where the condition. Okay, so this is a simple way we can declare the cursor. Open the cursor. So basically for the opening the cursor we can use the open cursor name. Then this is the for the open for the cursor, the fetch from the cursor. So whenever we fetch the data from the cursor, then we can use the fetch next, okay, from the cursor name into the at the rate variable 1 variable 2. So this is a simple thing for the fetching the data from the cursor. Then look through the cursor by the row, like whenever we go by the one by one, then we can use while at the rate fetch status equal to 0. Then you can use the begin, and in between that you can use your logic, like for example, if you want to print the statement or update the statement or calculation any kind of the operation, then we can perform in between this, okay. Then fetch next, like it will be fetch the next row, okay, from the whatever the table or whatever the select statement, so that we have the use, okay. So then it will be perform the like from the cursor name into the variable 1 variable 2, and after that we can end the cursor, okay. So this is simple fetching the data from the cursor. After that we can close the cursor by using the close, then we can use the cursor name, okay. And then if suppose we don't need the cursor in a further requirement, then we can deallocate the cursor, okay. So for the deallocation of cursor, we can use the deallocate then cursor name. So this is a simple thing for the declaring the cursor. Open the cursor, then fetch the cursor, fetch the from the cursor, then loop the cursor, and then we can close the cursor, and then we can deallocate the cursor. Then now we will take the one example with problem statement. So basically the this is a for that I will open my ssms, okay. Now we will check the cursor, okay. So for the cursor, what we will do, so I will directly take the problem statement. This is my problem statement, so I will explain you this problem statement, okay. So basically the problem statement like update the employee salary in a table, like employee, okay, where the each employee salary is increased by the 10%, okay, only if their the department id is it, okay. The logic required row by row handling iteration and no best practice, okay. So basically not a best practice, so it will be also say that ki not best practice, okay. But the as per the requirement, so basically we need to update the employee salary from the employee table. For the each employee salary is increased by the 10%, okay, whatever the data in that employee table, it will be increment the salary by the 10%. But for the you can check one condition is there, only if there the department id is a it. So only salary will be increased from the it department, okay, not for the other department, okay. So the logic required for the row by row, so the you know most key cursor will be work on the row by row. So the for that we will create a one new employee table, and we will perform the operation on the this employee table. So for that we will create a table employee. So I will go to the my ssms, and here I will write a code for the creating the table, okay. So create table employee, then I already created the code, so I will just copy and paste that code, okay. So employee id. So I have previously also created this table, so I will not create the this table again, okay. Or what we'll do, so I will create a new table employee 2. So this table was created successfully. So select star from this employee 2 table. If I execute, there is no data in as of now in this table. So we have created table like employee ID, employee name, department, salary. Okay. Then we will insert the data in this table. Okay. So for that we will use the insert statement. So for that, insert into the employee 2. I will change the name of the table values. So one John IT, and this is the 50,000, 45,000, 55,000, and record number 4 is the 60,000. Okay. So now I will execute the query. So now you can check, we have inserted the data in a table like employee ID, employee name, department, salary. So this is a four record in my, as of now, in my table. Okay. Now, as per the requirement or as per the the problem statement is saying that update the employee salary in a table of the employee where the each employee salary by increase by the 10%. So if I show you the table, so this is my table, and we need to increase the salary by the 10%, and condition is given that only for the department is the IT. So whoever the employee belong from the IT department, only those employee salary will be increased by the 10%, not for the HR or not for the finance. So this problem statement we will solve using the cursor. Okay. So based on the cursor, so first of all, we will go by the step by step. So first of all, I will copy all the steps in my SQL server, and then I will show you how we can perform the this operation. Okay. Okay. So first of all, we will go by the step number one. So step number one, declare the variable. Okay. So basically we need to declare the variable. Okay. So I will declare the variable. Step number two, we need to create a cursor. Okay. So I need to run all the code one time, but as of now I will just show you the detail. Okay, so this is the declaration of the variable. Okay, and after that we will declare the cursor. So cursor will be declared like declare then cur. This is the name of the cursor, and this is a cursor for, then select employee ID, salary, department from the employee to. Okay, so the first of all it will be declare the cursor from the this based on the this name. Then I will just declare the cursor and then open the cursor. Then we will open the cursor, and then we will fetch the next from the cursor into the employee ID, salary, and department. Okay, and then after that we will use the all the code in a one time. Okay, so I will use the all the code in a one time. Okay, so then the next one is the loop through the row. So this code basically, while double at the rate fetch status equal to 0, it will be incremented by the 1. So first of all, it will begin with if the department equal to IT. So whatever the data will be fetched from this table. Okay, so this is a select statement. So if I execute the statement, so it will fetch the all the data. Okay, after that it will be fetch the next from the cursor like employee ID, salary, and department. So it will be fetched from the 0th position, and in that between that you begin if the if the department equal to IT, then begin. If only the department ID equal to IT, then only it will be updating the employee table or employee detail table like update employee to set the salary equal to salary into 1.10, means 10% we need to increase the salary by for the those employee. Okay, where the employee ID equal to employee ID, and employee ID based on the basically the employee ID that we have taken from the this table. Okay, so then this is the simple thing that we will do, and then we will end the this block. Okay, after that fetch next from the cursor. Okay, so cursor already we have the fetch the data at first position, then it will be go for the next position, insert then into employee ID, salary, and department, and then it will be end the code. Then we will close the cursor, and after that we will deallocate the cursor if further it will be not required. So I will directly execute the statement. Okay, so for the executing the code, so I will open cursor up to from this to the this. I will execute the cursor. Okay, so before that I will just take the data. So for the checking the data, so I will, this is my current data. Okay, so we will check before and after data. So based on that, based on the cursor, the value should be changed for these two rows. Okay, so now what I will do, I will execute the cursor. Okay, so I already declared the variable. Okay, so now I will execute from the beginning. Okay, declare the variable, after that declare the cursor, and after that we will fetch the data. So I will open up to step number 5. Okay, so if I execute the cursor, okay, so already exists, so I will use the another name because of I already created that cursor. So I will use a cursor 1, then cursor 1, cursor 1. Okay, so I have to replace all the cursor. So now I will execute the cursor. Okay, so up to this code. Okay, if I execute the code, the two row affected, so as per the expected. So now if I check the data from the this employee table, then you can check the data will be incremented for the IT department. So I will copy this code and I will paste here. Okay, now you can check. So the John belong from the IT department. So previously it was a salary is of 15,000, but now the salary by the incremented by the 10%. So now the salary will be incremented by the 16,500. Okay, then the uh, Alice, so it is a belong from the HR department. The salary is a 45,000. It will be salary also remains same because of it is a not from IT department. Only the salary will be incremented by for the employee who belong from the IT department. So the box from the IT department, previous salary is of 55,000. Now after the executing of the cursor, the salary will be become a 66,550 rupees. Okay, so the value will be changes for the only IT department. So this is a simple thing for the cursor. Using the cursor we can perform the different the operation by the one by one. So as a practice way, so cursor also perform, or we can use instead of the cursor we can use the update statement as well. But the cursor is going for the as per the business requirement, the date the we need to go by the one by one, and we can change the value for the cursor. So this is a simple thing for the cursor. So now so this is the output after the performing the cursor. So this is the thing. So now we will check the drawback of the cursor. Okay, so whenever we perform the cursor, so it will be give the performance issue. So whenever is necessary, then only you can use the cursor. Instead of the cursor you can use the update statement if you are the performing the update operation. Okay, then resource in intensive. Okay, so basically consume the more memory and CPU. So basically it will be also taking the resource allocation, and it will be taking the memory for the whenever we create a cursor. Then complexity, so basically the more complex and harder to the debug and set the based on the solution. Okay, so whenever we perform the work, whenever we create a cursor, so it will be taking the complex for the handling the debugging the any kind of the code from the database or SQL. Okay, so alternative based on the solution. So basically instead of the cursor we can also use the update statement. Okay, so update employee, set the salary equal to salary into the 1.10 and where the department id equal to it. So this way we can simply we can the update the salary, or we can increase the salary by the 10%. So this is a simple approach. Okay, then basically, if suppose once we perform the operation, then we can close the cursor, because of it will be default. We have to open the cursor here, but we need to close the cursor as well. Okay, so I will perform the close the cursor, because of it will be taking the performance issue in my database. And after that I will delocate the cursor. If suppose my cursor not needed, then I will delocate the cursor in a executing the deallocate then cursor name. Okay, so we have the done for the trigger, then error handling and cursor. So basically, overall conclusion: trigger allow you for the automation of the action on the data change without the external application. Okay, then alter, delete. Okay, is a great for the audit logging. Sorry, after delete is a great for the audit logging, instead of the allow control over the data flow in a complex validation. Okay, error handling, for the error handling we can use the try catch block, avoid the query failure for the giving the meaningful error message. Okay, then help the maintain the review the business logic in a store procedure. Okay, then using the trigger plus error handling together will give the full control over the data integrity and reliability. Okay, then those the feature will be essential for the real-time enterprise system like HR, payroll or banking system. Okay, so basically this most of useful for the whenever where the HR, payroll or banking system it will be useful. And the last one is the cursor. So basically cursor is the database object, but the if needed then only you can use the cursor. So there is a drawback of the cursor. It will be impact in the performance in a database. Also, it will be complex for the debugging. So instead of the cursor, we can use the update statement. But whenever the required, where the business logic we need to go by row, then only we can use the cursor. So thank you friends for the joining this session. I hope you will understood this session. So we will check the further the advanced part in the next session. So till it. So thank you and wish you happy learning.